Welcome to the students of 2nd PUC. This is session 3 of chapter 7, alternating current. In this session, we would be deriving an expression for the current and impedance in a series LCR circuit. So you may be thinking by now, what is this, or what is a series LCR circuit is, and what do we mean by impedance? So let us recall. In session 1, we had studied an AC circuit with a resistor. If not a resistor, an AC circuit with an inductor. If not an inductor, an AC circuit with a capacitor. So we had studied AC circuit with only one component. What if an AC circuit has more than one component? It can have more than one component. It can either have a resistor with an inductor, or a resistor with a capacitor, or an inductor and a capacitor. In this way, other combinations. In our syllabus, we are supposed to study a combination of resistor, inductor and capacitor in an AC circuit. And the three components here are being connected in series, while you can also have them in parallel, but we are only supposed to study the three components connected in a series. So let us begin. Before we start the actual derivation, let us recall the voltage by the source is given by V0 into sin omega t. Then if you recall, for a pure resistive circuit, the current was given by I is equal to I0 into sin omega t in case of a resistive circuit. So in this case, voltage and current were in phase. Whereas for an inductive circuit, the current was given by I is equal to I0 sin omega t minus pi by 2. This was in case of an inductive circuit where the current would lag the voltage by pi by 2 radians. For a capacitive circuit, the current was given by I is equal to I0 sin omega t plus pi by 2. This was in case of a capacitive circuit. So if you see, the current leads the voltage by pi by 2 radians. Now what if you connect all the three? So will the current through the circuit be in phase with voltage, or will it lag behind the voltage by pi by 2, or will it lead the voltage by pi by 2? So what to do, or what to consider? So what we do? So now let us begin the derivation. The source voltage is given by V is equal to V0 into sin omega t. So let me take this as equation 1. As all the three components, that is the resistance, the inductance, that is the resistor, the inductor and the conductor, are connected in series, let the current be I is equal to I0 into sin of omega t. It's not just omega t, neither plus pi by 2 nor minus pi by 2. So we will consider some phase difference phi. Now today we are supposed to derive an expression for I0, and what is this phi going to be? So what is the value of the phase difference going to be? Let us continue now. So in the circuit, VR, VL and VC represent the voltage drops across R, L and C respectively. Also, what we know is the voltage across the resistor is in phase with the current I in the circuit. This is the first thing. Also, the voltage across the inductor leads the current by pi by 2 radians, and the voltage across the capacitor lags behind the current by pi by 2 radians. So now we will draw a phasor diagram which would represent the current and the voltage in the circuit. So how will it be? Therefore, the phasor diagram of the source voltage V and voltage drops VR, VL, VC and the circuit current I is going to be. So now how do we draw the phasor diagram? Let this be the x-axis and let this represent the current vector. Then first the voltage across the resistor is going to be in phase with the current. The voltage across the inductor will lead the current by 90 degree. The voltage across the capacitor will lag behind the current by 90 degree. And this angle can be taken as omega t plus phi. Using vector addition, we can further simplify this. The diagram for the voltage can further be simplified. VL and VC are opposite to each other, so you can take the difference between them. So VC minus VL will be the new vector here, and this is the same VR. So the net voltage is going to be given by the parallelogram law of vector addition. Draw a vector parallel to VC minus VL and also a vector parallel to VR. Now this will give me the source voltage. So this is the phasor representation of the source voltage, the voltage across the resistor, the voltage across the inductor, the voltage across the capacitor and the current in the circuit. The current in the circuit would be in phase with the resistor. So now the phase difference between the source voltage and the circuit current is going to be phi, and this is going to be omega into t. For further calculation, Presently, let us concentrate on this. Now, using the vector addition, let us find out what is V going to be. Before we do the vector addition, let us know the magnitude of the phasors are the magnitude of the source voltage is nothing but the peak voltage V0. The magnitude of voltage drop across the resistor is nothing but the peak voltage across the resistor, and this can be written as I0 into R. The magnitude of the voltage drop across the inductor V0L, which is going to be I0 into inductive reactance XL, and the magnitude of the voltage drop across the capacitor so the magnitude of the phasor representing the source voltage is going to be V0. The magnitude of the phasor representing the resistive voltage or the voltage across the resistor is going to be V0 R, which is equal to I0 into resistance R. The magnitude of the phasor representing the voltage drop across the inductor is V0 L, which is equal to I0 into XL, where XL is inductive reactance, and the magnitude of the phasor representing the voltage drop across the capacitor is V0 C, which is I0 into XC, which is capacitive reactance. So, using this, now let us perform the vector addition. So, using the law of vector addition, we get V is equal to vector VR plus vector VL plus vector VC. If you consider the magnitude, then V0 square is going to be equal to VR square. Look at the diagram here, VR and VC minus VL, they are at right angles to each other, and the diagonal is now going to be V0 is equal to VR square plus VC minus VL whole square. So, this is going to be equal to VR square is nothing but I0 into R whole square into VC is I0 XC minus VL is I0 into XL whole square. Further, I will need this diagram for further simplifications. So, I will be continuing this part onto the left side. This can be further written as V0 square is equal to, here I0 is common among all of them. So, I will get that as I0 square into R square plus XC minus XL whole square. Further, I want I0 square, expression for I0 square. So, I will get this as I0 square is equal to V0 square whole divided by R square plus XC minus XL whole square, which means I0 is going to be root of this. So, root of V0 square is going to be V0 itself into root of R square plus XC minus XL whole square. Finally, we have arrived at an equation for the peak value of the current in the circuit. If you remember, in equation 2, we have written I is equal to I0 into sine of omega t plus phi. Now, this was the equation for the instantaneous current in the circuit, of which we have now derived what is I0. Now, we are left with deriving an expression for the phase difference phi. So, what is the phase difference going to be? Equation 3 gives the peak value of the current in the circuit. Also, equation 3 can be written as I naught is equal to V naught by Z, where Z is called the impedance of the AC circuit. So, you may be wondering why did we mention this as Z. In a DC circuit, the voltage is given by I into R, or the current is given by V by R, where V is voltage and R is resistance. In an AC circuit, there is not just resistance, there is also capacitive reactance and inductive reactance, also a resistor. There is opposition from 3 components, and the net opposition from all these 3 components is represented by Z, and it is called as impedance. We do not use the term resistance for a AC circuit, instead use the term impedance. So, Z is called the impedance of the AC circuit, and that Z is equal to root of R square plus XC minus XL whole square. So, now further we are left with a derivation for phi. The phase difference phi is given by, here in the phasor diagram, if you look at the triangle, this is the angle phi between the source voltage V and the circuit current I. So, this is going to be the opposite to the angle phi, and this is going to be the adjacent. Now, I can write tan phi as opposite by adjacent. So, in place of opposite, I will get Vc minus VL here. Tan phi is going to be V naught C minus V naught L divided by V naught R. Just take the magnitude of these vectors. So, the magnitude is going to be V naught C minus V naught L by V naught R. So, this can further be written as I naught XC minus I naught XL whole divided by I naught into R. Here I naught is common both in the numerator and the denominator. So, I can write tan phi is equal to, if you take out the commons, finally you are left with XC minus XL by R, or phi is equal to tan inverse of XC minus XL by R. Equation 4. So, finally, we have derived the expression for the current in a series LCR circuit. Now, I will continue this. The equations 2, 3 and 4 completely give the expression for the current in the series LCR circuit. So, let me conclude what we have done today. So, that was the completion of the derivation. Let us recall it once again. So, it was a lengthy process. Let us recall. What we had was a series LCR circuit connected to an AC source. The voltage in the circuit or the source is given by V is equal to V naught sin omega t. As all the 3 components resistor, inductor and capacitor are connected, the current is neither going to lead the voltage by pi by 2 nor going to lag behind the voltage by pi by 2, nor is going to be in phase with the voltage, but it has some phase difference. So, the current in the circuit is given by I is equal to I naught sin omega t plus phi. This phi is the phase difference between the current in the circuit and the voltage supplied by the source. So, to find out what is I naught and what is phi, we have drawn a phasor diagram. If this is the current in the circuit, then the voltage across the resistor will be in phase with the current. The voltage across the capacitor lags behind the current, and the voltage across the inductor leads the current by pi by 2 radians. As VL and VC are opposite to each other, so we can take the difference between them. If we take the difference between them, I may get a vector VC minus VL, and using the parallelogram law of vector addition, draw parallels to VR and VC minus VL. Now, the diagonal gives the source voltage. The source voltage and the current in the circuit have a phase difference of phi. Using this vector diagram, I can derive finally as the peak voltage I naught is equal to V naught by root of R square plus XC minus XL whole square. So, I can take this as equation 1, 2 and 3. This root of R square plus XC minus XL square entirely can be written as Z, and Z is called the impedance. And finally, using the same diagram, I can write tan phi as equal to V naught C minus V naught L, V naught R. On further simplification, I get tan phi is equal to XC minus XL by R, or phi is equal to tan inverse of XC minus XL by R. So, the current is given by I is equal to I naught sin omega t plus phi. We have derived the expression for I naught, also the expression for phi. So, this will complete the derivation for instantaneous current or the AC current in a series LCR circuit. That is it.